Hey, welcome to Spirit Soul Sense, Information for Your Soul. I am Shareece, and let's talk about mastering the art of letting go. My mother used to say ligmo a lot. She heard it somewhere and then just was like, ligmo, which means let it go and move on. So what does it even mean to let go or to let something go? Well, basically it means that you're not caught up with the end result. You don't have this fixation on how you want it to be or how it should be. You've just kind of let it go. You've released this idea in your head that things have to be a certain way, which will lead you to be more present and at peace with the current situation that's going on now. So Eckhart Tolle, in his book, The Power of Now, has talked about if there's something in your life and you don't really like the way it's going, you can do one of three things. You can change it, if you can change it, you can accept it, or you can remove yourself from the situation. So just think about it in your life. If you don't have the power to change something, then the best thing you can do is see if you can remove yourself from the situation or accept it fully. This will help you to not be so caught up with the way things are, the way things should be. You'll get shoulds out of your vocabulary and you'll realize that what's happening right now is really okay. I mean, he does talk about extreme situations like torture and death. You know, there are extreme situations, but I think in our day-to-day lives, if you're living and having most of your basic needs met, then the problems and the suffering that you're enduring are really of your own creation. They're in your perception and in your mind. So I have a couple examples in my own life of things that I'm working on because I feel like one of my life lessons has been letting go. Maybe it's everyone's life lesson to not be caught up with the way things could be or should be, and to really be at peace with the way things are. So I have some other videos about how I was in an abusive relationship, and that was years long, a process of me getting out of that relationship and letting go. It was really a practice of letting go, not holding on to something that really wasn't fulfilling me. So in that case, I tried changing myself, I tried changing him, I tried changing the relationship, and then I moved into accepting it. This is the way it is. Maybe I can, deal with this. Before I got to the point where I was like, no, I need to remove myself from this situation because there's no amount of peace that I'm going to get if I stay here. I feel like that's been my biggest lesson in life and the one that I go back to very often because it felt like the hardest thing to do. In terms of relationships, it's the most difficult thing I feel like I've done in a relationship. But I did it and I'm really grateful for the perspective that I have now. So now when the guy I've been dating says that he's not interested in being in a relationship, I don't hold on tightly for dear life. No, I have learned to not become identified with the end result so that I can see what's happening right now for what it is. And maybe transitioning to friendship is the best way to go. I am so not the kind of person who wants to keep things just because it's the thing that I want to keep. No, I really stop and think, is this what God wants for me? I know that my relationships are going to flow at ease. Am I happy? You really have to think about all those things before you start, refusing to let things go. What you might find is that letting things go leads to the peace that you've been looking for, or presents you a peace that you had no idea existed. Another example I have is when I was working on my dissertation. It's really a very, very long research paper, and it took me longer than I wanted, longer than I thought it should take. And part of my resistance to it was I wanted it to be a certain way. And after it had sort of morphed into this different thing, the end result was going to be something I didn't want. So once again, being fixated on the end result stopped me from appreciating what it is that I had already created and what I could do to make this, what's happening now, better. And it really took me a while to realize, okay, wait, I can't change it to go back to the way I wanted it to be a year ago. That's really not feasible. It needs to get done in the next 6 months, and I don't have another year and a half to work on it. I can't remove myself from the situation because if I do that, then I didn't graduate. And so it was really about accepting what was happening This is a paper that I am proud of, that is good work. Not the best in the world, not about what I wanted it to be before a year, but right now what it is great. It's great and it works for me. And I can let go of the idea that it was supposed to be a certain way. And then that will lead me to a sense of peace, a sense of knowing and believing that what is happening in my life is supposed to happen. This is the way it is, and that's it. This practice, I think, has saved me a lot of suffering, a lot of heartache. I think I'm at a place now in my life where I am very, very grateful for all the experiences I have. And I don't have a time attached to it. Like nothing has to be a particular, I like things in my life to flow. And if something is not flowing, I'm gonna do one of the three things until I feel like there's flow, until I feel like there's peace. I really feel like that's like the best way for me to live my life. It really cuts down on the stress. Honestly, I'm all about flow, balance, ease. One of my favorite quotes from The Alchemist is, "The whole universe is conspiring to help me." I really, really believe that. I feel it. And I know, like in one of my other videos, that a rejection is just God's redirection. And acknowledging and believing that helps in the process of letting go. I think the art of letting go is something that you master over time. Maybe you don't completely master it because we all have to die one day, which I think is like the ultimate letting go. I mean, you are leaving this earth, you gotta let it go. I mean. And so comment down below what you have been letting go of, what you feel like has been your practice, if you resonate with any of the options that Eckhart Tolle has mentioned, or if you have your own advice for how to let things go. Thank you for watching.